you want to leave this place where we grew up? This old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone. Won't you miss the ones you know? I'll be here, hanging on, waiting for your call. Seems like time as a wave passing by, leave a mark in our minds to turn to memories. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're gone. Hey, I was hoping you would stay, but I've always known you would go find your own way. I still see when we climbed up in those trees, 12 years old, to feel the wind and watch the river run. And the sun would always shine when we sat there, you and I. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're gone. It's gonna cry, it's gonna cry.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Baseline Farms. My name is Jade. Hope everyone's doing well. So today we are going to start some onions. I have been wanting to start some onions for some time, and I just didn't get around to it because we had a bunch of tomatoes still growing in the garden beds, and then our quarter horse, Bella, ended up passing. So with all that, then we had a bunch of rain. So on top of that, I finally have been able to remove all of the tomatoes. I topped off all the garden beds with some mushroom compost, pulled out a lot of weeds, and now we're ready to start planting some onions. Now I Googled it, and it says that we could start onions from September all the way up until November in our zone 9. So my goal is to, start some onions so we can get a nice summer harvest. Now next year we're going to have a wedding here. And so my goal is to pack in these garden beds so they're nice and full, and it's just going to be looking so green and lush for the wedding. I'm so excited. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to plant a bunch of onions. Now, I went to the nursery and I picked up a couple bags of these onion sets right here. There's 75 onions in each little bag. So what you do is you take the onion, you leave the paper on, like the little wrapper on, not paper, but the skin. You leave the skin on, and you have it where the little pointy side is facing up, and this bottom side right here is in the ground. So it should be looking just like that. So what you want to do is just stick it right there in the soil and just press it right into the soil. So the little tip just sticks right up, just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place the onions in the spots that I want them, and then I'm going to stick them in just so that way I don't overplant or double plant in the same spot. So my goal is to do a couple rows of some red onions, probably right in here, maybe 3 rows of red onions, possibly. Yeah, I think I could do 3 rows, maybe 2 rows here and another row right over here, or maybe 2 rows here and another row on the side here. I'm not too sure yet. And then we're going to do some spinach. I'm going to plant some spinach and some carrots. Now, I do want to leave some room because I know that if I plant all of the garden beds come spring, I might not have any space to put tomatoes. So I'm going to leave some space in between the spinach. Maybe I'll plant spinach along the trellis right here, because I'm just going to leave these trellises in for my tomatoes. So I think I'm going to plant some spinach along the side and then plant some carrots right in this area. And I think that's just going to look so lovely come summer. What else? And I think that's pretty much it. So I have amended 1, 2, 3 garden beds. So let's just get started on planting these onions. Okay, now that I'm done planting all of the, putting soil on top of all of the onions, now we're going to start some carrots, some spinach, and I'm going to start some turnips also. So we can still plant spinach in our zone 9, all the way up until November. Now, as far as the carrots go, though, it says that we could start planting the carrots, the last month was October. So I'm still going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and drop in some carrots and some turnips also, along with some spinach, and hopes for the best. And I hope that we get some great harvest in the springtime. And I cannot wait, because these seeds, the spinach, the carrots, and the turnips, are can tolerate a little bit of cold. So let's just get started on that. Now I'm going to go ahead and plant, let's see how many varieties of spinach do I have. I'm going to plant this Matador spinach by Botanical Interest. I think I have 2 different kinds. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and, baby greens. So we're going to plant some baby greens as well. And then let's see, in this garden bed, because, shoot, I forgot, did I put onions right here? No. I'm going to double check. So I only have onions in, gosh, did I plant onions over here? Oh, shoot. Yes, I did. Whoopsie daisy. Yes, I did plant onions right there. Whoopsie daisy. Almost dislodged them. Okay, so let's stick that one back in there wherever I put it. There it is. Okay. So almost forgot. So we have the onions planted. I want to say I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of onions. So now we're going to plant this front row. We're going to do about 2. I think we could do 2 rows of spinach. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do 2 rows of spinach if we have enough. I think we could do that. So we're going to do, because I like to pack in my spinach pretty tight. So, maybe just 1 row. I think 1 row might be enough. Gotta debate. I'm debating if I should put spinach on this side or if I should put it on the other side. If I put it on the other side, then on the other side of this trellis, at least maybe I'll have some. When the spring comes, I'll make a little space so I could put the tomatoes or beans. Never know. All right, so let's just go ahead and put the spinach right here in this row. I love spinach, and we do have some spinach coming up. I don't have that much. I don't have that much of this Matador spinach, but that's okay. Dropped a couple. That's okay. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to put 3 in each hole. Let me just show you. how we do that. So I'm just going to make a little hole right here. And pop in 3, another one. So I'm just going to make them really close, just like this. Now you guys, I don't have any netting up in this garden bed, so I'm hoping that the weather is too cold for these birds to eat my seeds. That's my goal. I've always had a horrible time trying to keep my seeds safe from these birds. So hopefully we won't have that problem this time around, I hope. Let's see. Here's some more spinach. This is going to look so lovely, you guys. I cannot even wait. So this one is a different variety. This one is Olympia spinach. So we're just going to go ahead and do these little holes here. And with these seeds, you don't have to put them in too deep. You just make a little indentation. I don't know if you saw that. So you just make a little indentation, and then, oopsie daisy, this one. And now I kind of leave it open like this until I'm done, and then what I'll do is I'll just brush the soil right over the top, just to make sure that I can see where I planted the seeds. So just like that, easy peasy. Let's just go ahead and do the rest of the row. You know, after I got all the seeds in, I was thinking, shoot, I was going to plant carrots right here. But instead we have spinach, but that's okay. So we're just going to go ahead and leave that the way it is. And I'm not going to plant anything on the other side. I might, I don't know, I'm debating. I'm debating whether or not I want to plant anything. And I think, you know what? I am. I'm just going to go ahead and plant these carrots. We're just going to see what happens. See if we're going to get any carrots in the springtime. These are the short and sweet carrots by Burpees. No, you know what? Never mind. I take that back. We're not going to plant anything on the other side of the trellis because I have so many other garden beds I could plant in. So let me just show you the other garden bed where we have the other set of yellow onions. I'm going to start some carrots and some spinach in that garden bed. Alright, so this is another garden bed that I mended, and I'm going to go ahead and plant 2 rows of carrots right here, and then 1 row of baby greens on the very end over there. And so, we're going to do the short and sweet right here. It's going to be so lovely. I cannot wait to see what this looks like. That's the best part, is once you plant everything, is to see the outcome afterwards. Oh, I love it. So these seeds are so tiny. Carrot seeds are super small. There you go. See how tiny that is. So what I like to do is I just like to make a little like a trench, and then sprinkle the seeds right in it. And there's not a lot of, you don't have to do much to it at all. I just like to sprinkle a nice thick layer, just like that. And we're going to do 2 rows. And I'll just come through and I'll thin them out. But I try to make it as thin as possible when I'm planting them, because you could see the seeds in the soil. But I'll eventually just come in through here and thin out. You know, if I see big clusters, I'll just kind of snip the ones that are not, that I don't think are going to grow very well. And that's it. And then we're going to do another one right over here. So easy. And you don't have to put them in that deep because they're so tiny. And shoot, I should put a trellis over this one, just in case, because I'm going to be so disappointed. I'm sure when I come out here and I see birds in my garden beds, I'm sure I'm going to be so disappointed with myself if I don't put any netting or anything like that. Shoot, I don't even know if I have any more netting. I'm going to double check. Alright, so that is all the carrots. So now we're just going to go ahead and put the soil right on top, just like that, just lightly. Shoot, I don't think I have any more netting. Well, we're going to have to figure something out. And I always think, like, this time is the time that birds are not going to eat my seeds. But I could be wrong, because I always am. Okay, so there you go. Spinach, carrots are done. Now we're going to go to the other side, and we're going to put the baby greens by botanical interest. And we're just going to do a thick row of some of these baby greens. I love spinach. Last year was the first year that I actually grew spinach. No, was it this year? I think this year, and I actually froze it, which is so exciting. So this one says you could sow this any time of the year. So that's awesome. All right, so now time for the spinach seeds. We're going to do it just like we did on the other side. We're just going to go ahead and put a little indentation in the soil and then drop a couple seeds right in there. And I'm going to do a nice heavy row. Gosh, I could almost do like 2 rows. Maybe I'll do that. I'm going to just do 2 rows. So I'm just going to make the little holes first, and then we're going to drop in the seeds. And it's so easy, guys. I cannot wait to get some spinach. So I did freeze some spinach from my last harvest, and that has been so awesome, you guys, to be able to just pull out spinach right from the freezer. You guys, if you see our Great Pyrenees running around with the tire chained up to a chain, it's because she keeps jumping the fence. She keeps jumping the fence and going out and playing in this 3 acres behind our property, and she doesn't come back. So at first we had it like we had a rope hooked up onto her collar, and then there was a tire on the rope, and so she chewed through the rope. So that wasn't going to work. So then I modified it and I put a chain around her so that way she can't chew it off, because she keeps jumping the fence, and I'm afraid that she's going to jump the fence and run out into the street. And yeah, that's just not going to be a good thing. So we definitely need to put up some electric fencing for her. We don't have any electric fencing. We do have everything for the electric fencing. So now we got to install that. Yeah, because she keeps getting out. So this tire, she's not going to be able to choke herself or anything like that. The lead is long enough where if she does, she's just stuck there. So at night when we put her up, I take off that chain. But if I'm out and I'm not paying attention to her, she literally will try to jump the fence, even with that thing on. But, you know, what are you going to do? And I have been training her. Now, when we first got the Great Pyrenees, we were told that they tend to jump, they can climb fences. Well, she can climb the chicken coop fence that's 6 feet tall. She has no problems climbing out of that and jumping over it. So that's why I don't keep that tire around her neck while she's in there, because I do not want her to jump over that fence. So at night, once the sun goes down and it's time to go to bed, she actually sleeps inside the chicken coop with the chickens because I can't have her out and about. Because every time I just left her in the chicken coop area, just in the chicken coop run area, she literally jumps the fence. Can you believe that? Another thing to worry about, animals jumping the fence. And I don't even know why. We have 5 dogs, so you would think that she would think her pack is here. No, she doesn't even do anything out there. She just roams around in this back part of the property. Just roams around. Yeah, doesn't do anything. And who taught her that? Hank. Hank, our German Shepherd, is the one that taught her how to jump the fence. Okay, so that is what we have going on so far. I planted some onions, some spinach, some carrots, and then we have some spinach and onions growing in that bed. Oh, you know what? I think it's spinach. Okay, so I think I'm going to do some turnips right over here, because I did put some onions over here as well, the red onions, and I think I could do a row of turnips. You see that? A row of turnips right over here. That's what I'm going to do. I love turnips, you guys. And I hope it's not too late to plant them. But even if it is, I'm sure we're going to get some sort of turnips in the spring. Because I believe we could still, no, I know we can still plant turnips in our zone. Turnips are a root vegetable, and they're cold, like they can handle a little bit of frost. And I know we're supposed to have some super cool weather coming up. I want to say it's supposed to be down in the 30s. Okay, so same thing. I just want to do a little indentation, just like that. And the turnips that I grew in the other garden bed, oh, looking so amazing. Now I feel like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and grow some spinach in this one as well, some baby greens, because we go through so many baby greens. So these turnip seeds are pretty small as well, so you just want to go ahead and, I just drop a couple of them in each hole, probably 3 of them. Okay. You guys, the farm has been so quiet without Bella. I miss her so much. You know, every day when I would go in and see her, I would hug her every day. I would hug her or pet her or touch her in some way. And now that she's not here, man, it's pretty quiet. I'll tell you what, it's pretty quiet. It has taken I still am not used to that. I'm still not used to it because we've had her for so stinking long. And if you guys don't know, Bella is our quarter horse. She has recently passed away, and it was such a shocker because we were not anticipating her to pass away on us. So it's such a bummer. I did not think that, we were going to go into the new year without her. So it's been a real big bummer. Okay, there you go. Now I'm going to go ahead and plant on the other side of this trellis right here, even though, you know, I'm going to keep this trellis up for the tomatoes for next year. Got to think in advance. I figure I'm just going to go and do it right at the very, very edge. Put these baby greens right over here on this very edge of the row. And then what we can do is just plant the tomatoes, because my goal is to hopefully, so there she goes. Let me see. And I hate having it on her. Oh, I just hate having it on her because I'm thinking, like, come on. Why do you have to make me put something so ridiculous on you just to keep you on the property? That should not be the case. All right, so same thing. I'm just going to do a nice thick row of spinach right over here. And, you know, in the very beginning, when I first planted spinach, I listened to everything that it said on the package. I just read the package, and it said, you know, plant it so many rows, like so many inches apart. I did exactly that. And then I realized that, no, you don't have to. You can plant them close and then have a nice bed of spinach. Oh, I love spinach too. And it's so easy. Oh, it tastes so good. It doesn't have any bitter taste to it. My kids love spinach. It's the best. Growing your own food is the best. I don't know why we didn't do this sooner. We've lived here for so long, and I never thought about planting any kind of vegetables at all until right before the pandemic. That's when I actually started planting. I actually started a garden before the pandemic, and then already had seeds planted and started, and then the pandemic hit, so had it all going before then. Okay, so there you go, just like that. We're just going to cover it with dirt, and the soil is pretty moist, so I don't feel like I'm going to have to water it anytime soon because it's pretty moist. It's pretty damp. All right, so that is that. We have all of our spinach planted. I cannot wait to see what that's going to look like. Oh, I love seeing the garden beds all done up like that. Let me put this back in its little package. I was going to try to do it the lazy way and not put it back in the package, but no, I should definitely put it back in the package. All right, and then that is pretty much it for today. All done. So that's pretty much it. Have all of the garden beds. Look at the potatoes are looking so good. So I still have to remove those 2 plants. Well, My goodness, we have so many tomatoes still on these plants right here that they're all cracked. Like, look at that. Look at that. It's all cracked and everything. And I didn't get them off the plant. So I did try one of the red tomatoes, and it was kind of like, it didn't taste that good. But everything is growing. I still have this garden bed I need to amend. That's the garden bed with the Jerusalem artichokes. But I definitely need to give you a garden tour. Here's the garden bed with all the beans. Like, not beans, peas. We have some peas and some spinach growing in here. Yeah, here's the one with the turnips. I'm just going to have to give you a really good garden vlog. But that is what we have going so far. Just planting a bunch of onions and cleaning up the garden. I did put some soil in this one wheelbarrow right here. This one right here. So I'm going to plant some things in there. I'm not too sure what, but yeah. Got done manicuring all the plants. It looks so beautiful. All right, so that is what we have going for today. Started some onions, spinach, carrots, turnips, and that's pretty much it. So thank you for hanging out with me. Take care. Be safe. Happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully I'll maybe pop in here one more time before Thanksgiving. We'll see. But if I don't, hopefully you guys have all a great, fantastic Thanksgiving with your family or your friends, and have a fantastic feast. Love it. I love cooking on Thanksgiving. So even though it's just going to be, I think, 5, 6 of us, I think there's going to be 6 of us, we're still going to have a big feast. So that's what we have for today. That's pretty much it. So take care, be safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.